Hello and welcome to the May World Qualifier finals between Smeoz and Gameslayer. Um, this is a match on Ashen Pass. I'm not alone here. I'm your host Zaraghul, and with me on my side is Bearcat. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. So we are going to have at first a look at Smeoz hero's composition. So we see Astrida, Freihill, Shilavi, Koryov, Forhild, and Thetheru as possible heroes in the game. Any thoughts on them?
With the objectives that we're seeing, I'm expecting to see something more kill oriented. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some mages being used in this matchup.
Oh, yes. So we have Double Kill, the Tamer, and Onslaught. And they're all about killing heroes. So I'm quite
Exactly.
curious what Smears is going to select. I'm just going to switch over to Gameslayer's side before they are going to start here drafting. So we see Setheru, Nelaklin, Akimo, Ishatosk, Yami, and Akla. So this should bring a lot of aggression here into the game. So I assume we see draftings with Setheru, Nelaklin, and Akimo maybe, or even Yami can deal several damage, and maybe we don't really see the Ishatosk taxi driving today, which we saw before. But yeah, let's see
Yeah,
what they're going to do.
yeah. After Gameslayer saw the victory conditions that were revealed, he did make the comment that he might be having to leave Ixatask on the sidelines during this game, which
Yeah,
would be somewhat unusual for a lot of the games that he's been playing recently.
absolutely. Um, and Gamesayer was the or is the highest seeded player, so he decided to go second. They both are bringing the OG outsider into play, and therefore Smears is going to be first player. I'm going to ping in the middle, and they can start drafting. So let's see what is going to happen.
So it looks like we have an Estrida
Okay.
for Smeoz, and
Yeah.
then the Yami taxi immediately from Gameslayer. So that was a bluff. He is bringing in Yami and Ixatask as his normal MO is,
This is yeah. Okay. Bluffing, bluffing the streamers. Yeah. Thanks for that.
and goes with Akla
Interesting.
and Akimo.
And a chemo on the bench. Okay.
So I could see this being a very aggressive list. The one thing with leaving Ixatask on the bench is I would imagine that Gameslayer has his presence cards on Ixatask, probably something that he doesn't want to give up in this matchup.
Oh yes. Absolutely. Hello, Giacomo. Welcome to the stream. Who's the last hero picked from Smeoz?
It looks like he's still deciding.
Okay. Okay. I mean, um, you could just ignore all those killing conditions and go for a Nexus breach, something like that. So the Yami taxi is might
And
make
Cytheru.
a lot of sense. Okay, so Theru as the bench hero on Smear's side. Okay, so that would be two mages in play, perhaps, on Smear's side. Yeah,
Yeah, I think including Astrid is interesting, considering she will be actively damaging herself with the ability to place additional minions. Sometimes you can negate that with Freihill's healing ability, but it should be interesting to see how Smeoz does keeping his heroes alive, knowing that, as characters die, he's definitely going to be on a timer.
oh yes, absolutely. So Mulligan is going to happen now. Maybe you could have a look and tell us which cards are leaving Smear's hands.
So I see Smeoz mulliganed a Wind Blast.
Okay. And on Gameslayer's side,
And on Gameslayer's slide, he uh, tossed a Skytear Drain. So interesting. I've seen Smeoz really leveraging card draw as these games on Ashen Past tend to go quite long. So Gameslayer running Skytear Drain could be a good way to counter that strategy.
yes.
Yeah, one of the things I've seen with Smeoz is he's able to really take advantage of the shelter card with Freyhel as games go longer and longer. As that card continually builds in value, the longer the game goes.
Yeah, we did see that in the matchup before
Yeah.
against Kirito. So this is really devastating with each round, with advancing to higher rounds on Ashen Pass.
Yeah, and there you go. You see a Nature Reclaims flipped by Freyhel for that card draw that I was just referencing.
hmm Yeah, so quite classic opening. Freiherr did worship to shapeshift Astrida so that she can be able to spawn a minion in her activation then. Fire killed a minion and moved before. Okay, Akla is going to try to contest the dome. Okay,
And I assume he leads.
yeah, this is the case actually from hand. So putting some pressure into a dome control, um, and as
Yeah,
well, yes,
the great thing with what Gameslayer is doing is he can wait to see what uh, Smeoz does with his characters, whether or not he plays presence. He positions himself to either seize the dome or take a big lead in the lane because he can reposition his heroes very easily with the Yami taxi ability.
okay. So Shillavi was going to activate and declared a move action. So with a move, she might get into dome part number 3 on the left side here on the screen. And therefore a Skyty discharge
Yeah,
could deal some damage. Yeah,
this makes a lot of sense to do against Shalavi considering she's the hero that has 0 armor, so you get maximum damage on the flip.
yeah. So there's no mage in play actually. Um, that could have, or that is a card that you play Sky to Discharge, for example, makes a lot of sense to do so with a mage, so you really
So
have
still goes in anyway.
better. Yeah,
And I
okay.
think that makes sense because if you don't go into the dome, you're basically giving up the dome to Game Slayer.
Yeah. Putting pressure on Akla actually. He's down to 10 HP. Um, this is yeah, this could just end pretty fast for him. Okay, there goes
So
the Yami Taxi.
we see the Yami taxi. I'm sure we're gonna see Yami move over a minion to kill it.
Yes. Yeah.
He flips
He,
a rampant hatred
ooh.
to get the kill.
Mm-hmm. And there's the attack on the other minion, so Gameslayer now is on on minion advantage. Skirmishing into the dome. Okay.
So this is really interesting because with Freyhel not leading and now Estrida being the only character left, he has Smeoz has to make the decision as to whether or not he wants to win the dome or win the lane. He cannot do both because if
Yeah.
he,
Qu
depending on where he finishes the round, Yami just gets to have her choice of where she finishes.
yeah, that's the advantage of going second for Gameslayer, absolutely. So even if Smeoz would contest the dome, he couldn't win it if just Yami decides to get into the dome.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Pres- Present sets him up to be able to potentially tie, but I don't think that
that it's worth it.
I don't think it's worth it.
Yep, me neither. So we might, yeah, he's still undecided.
Looks
I
like
would
he's trying to
just,
decide exactly where he wants to move.
mm, yeah, and he's positioning like move it, attack, and then skirmish into the dome, but this doesn't really help. So you're still
Well,
missing the lead.
the skirmish doesn't make sense without the lead.
Release the spirits.
Oh, and
Okay, now through this movement,
yeah, this is a great
um,
play.
yeah, through the movement by Astrida, she now was in range of release the spirits. So
So
her
this,
ability couldn't
this
trigger. Yeah,
yeah, so this really sets up Gameslayer to win the dome and tie the lane. Seems like that's a big win for Gameslayer. Even though he got a little bit of damage put into Akla, I think he's in a pretty good position here.
yeah. Yami just moving through minion, and I suppose it as he's not running -1,
So
so
flips a sinkhole and then flips a psychic shield on the attack on the minion, and I would expect to see a lead here. Oh, he flipped the +3 on the minion, moving through the minion.
okay, yeah, makes sense.
Interesting. So he declares a worship.
Hmm,
Maybe he wants to target Shalavi, try
yeah,
to get as
inside
much
the
damage
dome.
in.
Yeah, this could be the case. Yeah, Shilavi is marked. Then okay, getting some damage, so she's down to
Yeah,
13 HP and a lead from hand.
that
Okay,
makes sense. Getting the hit on the armorless Shalavi for a 1+ rather than the armored um,
this is going to
Estrida with a
tie,
2
right?
plus on an attack.
In the middle. Yeah, it's going to tie. So
Correct.
just
Assuming they
spawn in a
both led
minute.
with threes.
Yeah,
So it looks like Yami led with a Soul Scream, and it looks like Estrida led with a Wind Blast.
yeah. This is
So I would definitely expect Shalavi to get just punished here.
yeah.
And as she is not shapeshifted, there will be no revenging
Mm-hmm.
happening.
Absolutely.
Great
Um,
positioning for Gameslayer.
yeah, Giacomo had two questions, which I didn't see before. So who's the outsider? You now are going to see who's the outsider. It's the OG. And why Akla there instead of one hex further away? You mean to the outside of the dome, I assume, behind the control token? Yeah,
Well,
that's
I think he placed himself there so he could potentially attack a minion next round. Right now, if he places a token, he can attack a minion. No, his ability doesn't allow him to see
no, no,
minions.
no.
Only
The
only
the
heroes.
ability does only allow to, yeah, heroes.
So
So,
the first thing we see is an attack.
mhm.
Gameslayer flipped a +0 with the sinkhole, so we get 3 damage.
And I think no. What could he do? He could worship another time. He could worship even with Akla to deal some damage
I think
to
I
Shilavi.
think with his hand size being only at 3 cards, he definitely wants to draw a card.
Oh yes, I missed that one. Yeah, only 3 cards. Yep, sure. So that you
'Cause
can. Okay, he only has 3 cards. Did he play? Yeah, he did
he
lead 2 times. from
Correct. And he
hand.
played
Yeah.
the Release the Spirits, and he played the Skytear Discharge. So he played 4 cards out of hand in the first round.
Yep. Yeah. You want to draw a card. Then you could still use the warship part. So that, for example, Akla could trigger his ability by removing the pillar and dealing a 1+ damage
Right.
to Shelavi. Maybe, and reposition the pillar for the next Yami taxi.
I think that makes the most sense.
So you could position the pillar, for example, adjacent to Astrida. Between, yeah, adjacent to the minion, to the control token 1 and Astrida and Yami. Maybe there. So that Yami is pretty free in moving around.
It's like Gameslayer really thinking about what he wants to do here.
Mm.
I don't think Shockwave makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean,
So he
he.
chooses Outsider skill number 1, which is the Worship ability.
Okay.
So he is performing the Divine Conduit, and kind of like he guessed, he is removing the pillar, and I'm assuming placing it in the exact same spot, flipping a +3 to deal 4 damage to Shalavi.
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
card that he flipped was the Yami Ultimate.
Okay. Then we won't see that
And
in round 3.
he is in fact doing the Shockwave, bringing Shalavi down to a total of 4 hit points. So this
Ooh.
is a really good spot for Gameslayer if he's gonna establish a hero lead this early.
Oh, yes.
So the
I mean,
question will be, what
yeah.
does Smeoz do? Does he activate Shalavi to try to get value, or does he leave her there so he gets a hero respawn on turn 3 rather
Yeah.
than going both round 3 and round 2 one hero short?
Yeah, that's a big question, because if you try to get somehow value by a hero activation and you then lose the hero exhausted, as you mentioned, then you will miss or will be in a hero disadvantage, in a big
Yeah.
disadvantage, especially on Ashen Pass. I mean, this really hurts when you lose a
Yeah.
hero and
And
you have to wait 2 rounds. Then this is
and it
really, yeah.
and it does look like Smeoz will be activating Shalavi first. So
So
she begins next to Ixatos, so she gets slowed. And he declares a skirmish targeting Akla. So it looks like trying to do as much damage to Akla as possible before she goes down.
absolutely.
So we get a +1, flipping a Nightmare Incarnate, bringing Akla down to 9 HP.
Yeah, still, yeah, might bring him in range. I don't know which yellow direct damage cards he might have brought with Shilavi.
Well, we see one Nightmare Incarnate. I would assume he's at least got another one in there. So we do see the attack.
Okay,
Makes sense.
there we go.
And we see a Shatter Mind, and we see
Ooh, 7
Last Judgment
damage.
from Cytheru. So there, very quickly, both characters or both players with a hero very much in striking range.
Yeah. Now you need a 2-mana card, maybe to deal the final blow.
And he does still have that Skytear Flux, so he could have something 3 mana to
Oh,
play
even
on this
that.
turn as well.
Yeah, sure.
And he flips it right now. There it is.
Oh, there goes the Skytier Flux.
So let's see what happens. We have a Soul Scream,
Oh,
and
Soul
he's gonna.
Scream.
And it looks like he'll be able to hit both Yami, the Pillar, and Akla. And the flip happens, so we have a dead Akla. Well, that was a very quick flip of situations.
Sorry.
So we've
Yes.
got a defeated Akla and a chemo that will be coming in at the start of round 3. And what I'm assuming is going to be a now exhausted Shalavi.
Yeah. And as well, I think that she's going to die as well, but
Yeah,
yeah, then it's 2 against 2, which is
yeah.
okay. This is a real good trade-off, I think.
I think this probably positions Smeoz in a better spot because I think from a hero standpoint, Estrada Freyhel work really, really well together, being able to control the lane and perform a lot of healing.
Okay, she's going to worship as a last action, and I release the
We-
spirits as a reaction on that. Okay, so no shapeshift for Shilavi.
that denies the heal. I'm assuming that was the main reason
Yeah,
why that
makes
was
sense.
played.
Yeah.
It might have made sense to play that with Akla before he was defeated, though, just to save
Mm,
mana. And if you knew you wanted to protect the healing anyway,
absolutely. So I'll just put it on screen.
yeah, it always hurts to have a character defeated and not have used their mana.
Yeah, for sure.
It also feels pretty safe to say that Gameslayer does not have a Doom in his hand because I can almost assure you we would have seen that as soon as the Skytear Flux was flipped to try to deny that play.
Oh, yes. Yes. That would have been a possibility uh to defend against such a big card. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now we see Gameslayer searching through his own discard pile,
Okay, already. Or this early.
trying to dig through what he has. Probably trying to do the math on how likely he is to kill Shalavi with potentially a worship and skirmish action, trying to save having to do his attack.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, yeah, you can use Yami, the Yami worship as you mentioned. So this is a 1+ flip, and the skirmish is still a 0+. Yeah.
So the one thing we did see um, when Shalavi casted the worship, she chose to worship Freyhel instead. I don't believe Freyhel had a shapeshift token at the end of round 1.
If I have,
I don't remember.
hmm, yeah,
So
I
we do
think she
see a
had.
Yami activation and a
No, she
worship,
did. She did she? Hmm.
and we see a +2 flip, leaving Shalavi at 1 HP.
Yeah. So with a skirmish, not flipping a 0, you're going to kill Chilavi.
And there's
Okay.
the attack.
So he makes
So that should
sure
be a
that, yeah,
guaranteed kill unless there's something interesting. But I don't believe he'll be able to do anything with Shalavi out of mana. And sure
yeah,
enough, there we have a dead Shalavi. So both players not really going for double kill in this situation.
yeah. I did.
Electing to electing to knock off the character as soon as they're within striking range.
Yeah, did forget to put the GIF in already for Akla. So the funeral going in for Akla and for Shilavi.
Aqua always seems like one of the most killed heroes. Whenever he's on the board, it seems like he's just the easiest target.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, Giacomo did have those thoughts about, was this just a bait, for example, with Skytid Discharge? Oh, as I'm talking about Skytid Discharge, it's
Interesting.
actually going
So
to happen.
Freyhel moves into the dome and then takes 4 damage to lose 3 HP. Should have been only took 2. I believe that should have been 3.
Yes.
I believe that's a mistake.
Yes.
We have an attack on
Mm-hmm.
Yami,
And a
and we see a
presence.
presence.
Okay. Now,
So this could really swing momentum for Smeoz if he's able to win the dome here. Because I could definitely see Estrida trying to push for a lane advantage in this situation with her ability.
yeah. Now he's going to predict 2 cards. Yeah, Giacomo. Yeah, sure. There's armor, but it was a 2+2 flip. So I
Correct.
think we might be correct in our calculations that this was
Yeah,
4 damage, so 3 HP.
yeah. Because Gameslayer flipped a clear mind, so it should have done 4 damage, and with
Hmm.
Freyhel only having 1 armor, that should have been 3 HP loss.
But still, we have a lead from hand, so the predicted cards weren't that nice or that useful for Smeoz, perhaps. Okay,
So we see a skirmish
yes.
for 1 HP loss, flipping a Doom. There's that Doom you wanted to see earlier.
Hmm.
An attack to do another 2 HP loss.
And a
And then
presence.
Gameslayer matching the presence for presence.
Um, Actually, where did the pillar go? I did miss the pillar. I'm
It
confused.
was killed. The pillar was destroyed during
Ah,
the Soul Scream.
yeah, the
The
soul
Soul
scream.
Scream.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, sure.
And
Okay.
lastly, he just takes a worship action. Interesting that he did not lead.
Yeah,
I guess he still has Yami, if you'd like to.
yeah, Yami has a lead from hand.
Oh, I see.
Yep,
I did not realize that
yep.
Yami had already led.
So it's let's say 5 to 4. No, 6 to 5. So 6 to 5 in a dome, I assume. Um, yeah, Astrida is going to kill uh, one of Gameslayer's minions and spawning an friendly minion. Lost 2 HP, and in the end, moving into the dome to just tie it.
Yeah, because he will
Because,
win.
yeah,
He does win the lane without
I,
a hero even present.
yeah, so makes totally sense. Yeah, absolutely. So you at least tie the dome, then you can defend the possibility of Gameslayer having the outsider activation again,
So
which makes
Gameslayer showing that he led with a rampant hatred, and Smeoz leading with Shalavi's ultimate.
okay,
So
yeah,
both of them tie. And here we are with Smeoz in the position to do some tower damage. And 5 minions. A lot to chew through.
okay. So Akimo's going to spawn on Gameslayer's side, which now for this round number 3, which is the first round with ultimates possible in game, with a hero advantage against Smeoz.
So
Question mark. Yeah.
Yami's ultimate is in the discard pile. I do not believe we have seen Song of the Siren, and I do not believe we have seen Freyhel's ultimate.
Yeah. Did we
So
see Ishato's ultimate or Akimo's ultimate?
I don't believe we've seen either of those.
Okay. So,
We see Smeoz digging through Gameslayer's discard pile, probably to
okay.
look for that exact information.
Yeah, we are also trying to provide this info. Um, Yeah. Freihail is going to activate, I assume, as she's pinged. No. No. Hmm. So, still, I mean, Akimo is a big threat here. Totally. We've got a Freihail at 11 HP and a Streeter at 14 HP. This could lead to a quick end to one of those heroes. You totally want to defend this because your Smeoz on his side is in a hero disadvantage. Okay.
So we see an immediate doom on Freyhel.
Ah,
I wouldn't be
okay.
surprised to see a reaction heal here, just to bring her back up.
Why? Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
And
there it
there's the
goes.
shelter.
Oh, against
Oh, he's doing it for
Yami.
damage. Interesting.
Okay, which is going to deal
4
4
HP
damage,
loss.
4 HP loss. Yeah.
And there's another one. So this would be 3 more. Let's see if he's got anything to play around this. Doesn't look like it. So now we have Yami at 3 and very much in kill
At
range.
a
And there's a sacrifice.
sacrifice, which is
This
going to
is
deal
this is something
4.
Smeoz does all the time.
Ah,
He just collects those heal cards and then just spikes a character. He's so patient in using these cards.
yeah, absolutely.
He you know,
Wow.
a lot of players you see them using them as soon as they get them. But Smeoz likes to do them in giant bursts just to completely overwhelm a character.
Yeah. So we now have shelter on screen.
So the doom no longer resolves.
Yeah,
Not that
but
it would have done a whole lot. It
that here,
potentially could have It
yeah,
potentially could have blocked Freyhel from healing if she decides to worship, but
yes,
uh, I don't see Ixitas really doing a whole lot in order to knock this damage,
absolutely.
knock her down. So now
Um,
we have Smeoz 1 kill away from game end
yes.
and already working to whittle down Ixitas.
So dead heroes can't play cards.
Yeah, that is definitely correct.
This is what's really happened now. Okay.
Yeah, that was a great turn.
Wow.
No way around it. That was a incredibly effective turn for Smeoz. And even with playing all of those cards, he still has a card advantage to Gameslayer with 4 cards versus 3.
Yeah, yeah, because he was allowed to draw a card because of the hero
Correct.
kill. Yeah, wow. This is incredible. And there's a Sky to Drain.
Now they should be tied in cards,
Yes.
dropping to 2 each. Let's see what happens. See
Yeah.
Gameslayer looking through the discard pile of Smeoz. Probably Smeoz trying to decide which 2 cards he feels most okay getting rid of. And we see a chasm,
Yes.
and we see
And
a redirect.
Chasm and Redirect. Yeah, okay. Wow. I mean, Chasm is a really strong card in
So
terms
curious to
of,
see which ones he wanted to keep. You know, do we have an Estrida Ultimate in hand? That would be definitely one you want to keep in hand.
yeah. Gameslayer did activate Isha Tusk now, so this is interesting. I mean,
So Ixitas
he
is um, disabled. So his attack has been reduced due to the attack conducted by Freyhel.
yes. Oh yes, he's disarmed, so he can't
Disarmed.
get. He might not be uh able to kill a minion even.
Yeah, that would be an unfortunate. That would be
Yeah.
really unfortunate because we have seen plus zeros in in Gameslayer's deck. He doesn't tend to run a lot of them, but there have been some. So there's a slight chance he can't even kill a minion.
Yeah,
So right now, Smeoz pushing both the onslaught victory condition and the way he has the lane position right now, he could be positioned for some Nexus destruction as well. So really strong positioning.
absolutely. But I don't feel Astrida going for damage on Ishatosk.
No, probably not. Especially with the 2 armor. There's not really a whole lot she's going to be able to do.
Ishatosk
How
could move aside Arkemo and could taxi him into the dome
correct.
if you like to, but still, yeah, Freiherr could be a target.
Looking ahead a little bit, Setharu is coming in next round, and that
Oh,
armor
yes.
will not matter for Setharu.
There we go with a taxi, but not as I assumed, but yeah, still.
So I think that positioning makes a lot of sense because now
Uh,
Akimo would be able to worship
oh,
onto
you can't
Freyhel.
place that pillar there. Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
So Akimo now in the position to mark Freyhel, move into striking range for a very big swing.
Mm.
And as Freyhel led from the hand, you could
Ooh.
tie the dome. So you could see a worship move or worship attack lead. And there it
Son
is.
of the Siren. There you
Yep.
go. Ooh.
And
Wow.
if this resolves, this is a nightmare for Game Slayer.
And it did
And
resolve.
and it sure did.
Ooh.
Do we just see Nexus destruction? It's gonna be really close.
It's one, two, three,
One, two, three,
four.
four,
It's just a
five,
lead
six,
from deck.
7,
This is
8, 9. It's a 9-4. That should be. That is the end of the game because it looks like Ixotask
three,
led with a
four.
Psychic Shield. That should be game end.
Oh.
I think that's it. Well, they're moving minions.
Uh,
Oh, I see.
it's
Estrida
for.
only led with a 1-mana card. She did not lead with
Yeah,
a
it was
3-mana
from
card.
deck. It was from deck. Oh. Okay.
I see.
So only damage to the minions. Oh. Wow.
So both players leading from deck and getting a combined value of 1 from them. Not
Combined
not
value.
exactly what you want to see.
No. This is.
But now Smeoz wins the dome and just probably is going to pummel Akimo, if I had to guess.
Hmm.
Either that or just kill a minion to really position yourself for Nexus destruction next round.
Yeah, what could you do? I mean, you can worship, uh, trigger Freihel's healing for Strida, for example, or for Freihel herself. Okay, what is he going to do? Please use those action buttons. Ah, thanks, Smeoz.
Yeah, looks like it is
Attacking Akimo.
an attack on Akimo.
Yeah, brings him
Flips
down
his Soul
to,
Scream.
yeah, okay, down to 15.
Yep. I would expect a card draw. That makes a lot of sense with him only having 3 cards in hand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Yep,
There it
there it
goes.
is.
Yeah. And what next? Will he use the push or will you use the worship ability, which I think is pretty strong as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
It is the worship
the
ability.
worship, yeah, for Freiherr. Okay, she's
And he
going
gets
to
a plus
trigger.
1
Yeah, okay. She's back to
up to
15 hell.
up to 15 HP, so she is in a very safe spot right now.
Yep. Okay.
So going
There's.
into round 4, we are going to see Game Slayer bringing Akala back into the game, and we're going to see
Oh,
Setharu making
yes.
his first appearance for Smeoz.
Okay. Hmm.
And it will be Smeoz's activation. So he's got the kill lead. He's got the lead in hand size. Um, Seems like he is in a very, very good position to potentially end the game this round.
Yeah,
Assuming he has some good nuke spells from Freyhel. Maybe he was able to replenish his hand with some more sacrifices.
he's in an
He has not,
advantage. Yeah.
yeah, he has not yet been able to go all the way through his deck, and I believe we've seen all three shelters, but I don't believe we've seen more than one sacrifice. I don't remember seeing him flip one, and he's only played one.
Okay.
Both
Um,
players digging through Smeoz's discard pile right now, probably trying to see what might be in there. Because I think I saw that Smeoz is running Nourish, Sacrifice, and Shelter, so he has all of those fun cards that Freyhel can take advantage of to do a lot of direct damage to a single character.
yeah, that would be hilarious again, for
Yeah,
sure. I mean,
probably probably not for Gameslayer.
no. This is, I mean, Astrida is a fine target for Gameslayer as well. I mean, she's adjacent to Akimo.
And there they
She's
see the
nearly in range for Akla as well. There's a pillar adjacent to her, so he can already use the first ability, the worship ability, for example, to deal
so
some
they have
damage.
moved the round marker, probably indicating that Smeoz is considering who to activate, and he chooses Astrida first.
There you go. Nature
And
reclaims.
so
Okay.
I have to imagine he's trying to dig for more heal cards.
Wow. 8 cards in hand. This is double the size that Gameslayer is actually having.
You know.
Wow. Okay.
And with 4 mana, Freyhel can play a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. This is going to hurt. So she's going to worship herself, healing, I assume.
Let's see what she gets. There's one of those nourishes. So that's probably a card that Smeoz would have rather had in hand
Yeah, sure.
and
And an
working to
attack on
chip
Akimo.
away
Okay.
at Akimo.
Yeah. So Akimo
And
seems
there's
to be the primary target for Smeoz to get
yep.
the third point on Onslaught and to win this final.
So Smeoz just now worked through his deck for the first time. And two flips in a row, he flips a Nightmare Incarnate on both the
Hmm.
attack and the skirmish.
So no direct damage possible for Seteru, for example.
Yeah. And probably even more important than the damage is with that attack, um, Akimo is now disarmed.
Oh,
As
yes.
as as Estrito was shapeshifted.
Yeah, she did shapeshift herself at the start of her activation. Yeah, this is so important. You just disarm the enemy assassin, who could possibly have dealt at least a 5++ using his marking ability. And this is really a really big deal.
Yeah, because Gameslayer's kind of in a weird spot right now because he has, I'm sure, released the spirits that he wants in his hand, but does he use it to clear the disarm off of Akimo, or does he hold it in reserve to try to protect himself if Freyhel just goes on a killing spree? Um, the
This,
problem is
yeah,
the problem is if he casts the release the spirits, Freyhel probably just starts playing all of the other ones before it resolves. So it might not even matter.
depending on positioning, you could start with Akla, move him right adjacent to Akimo, and then from there you can snipe on Freihill, and you could play the release the spirits as well. So yeah, as
I
Ishatosk
wonder
isn't able to play release the spirits, so I
I,
could only see Akla playing it.
I wonder if it makes more sense for Gameslayer to make Sether his primary target.
Yeah.
But going for Setharu probably takes him out of line of sight of the control point that he needs to be next to in order to not lose to Nexus destruction.
Yeah.
There's just so many things he needs to protect against right now, and I don't see how he protects himself against all of them, both Nexus and protecting Akimo from dying.
Yeah, you need to stay in lane and you need to clear minions
Yeah,
somehow. It's 7 to against 2 minions, so uh, this is
yeah.
really hard to defend.
Looking through, remembering what kind of cards Gameslayer has flipped, he doesn't really run a lot of cards for minion control. He really relies on the Yami Taxi ability for controlling large amounts of minions, and with Yami off the board, he's in a really bad spot. And you can see he's really thinking about which character he wants to activate right now.
Absolutely. So this is yeah, depending on those decisions, you yeah, this is all about positioning on the board, um, setting up the next activation for your next hero. So this is so important. And yeah, let's say mind games in the end, big mind games. So what would you expect from your opponent to do or to assume that you're going to plan next? But yeah, there is a lot
Yeah,
of pressure. It's pressure in the next in the dome as well against your own nexus. This
yeah,
is
it's not showing up on the HUD right now, but GameSlayer does have the activation token on Ixotosk, making me think that's who he's choosing to activate.
okay.
Probably just thinking about the best sequence of events and whether it makes sense to try to get Akimo out of there. He doesn't really have a pillar in place to allow him to pull Akimo onto the other side of the board, if that's something that he's even interested in doing.
Yeah, I don't know if is he running Dreams of Tarlot, something like that, or a Storm Barricade? So that could be a reaction option for Akla on the other side of the board.
That would make sense. I don't remember seeing any of those cards.
Yeah, so if, for example,
Nope, we see Akimo activating.
okay, okay. So now how are you going to lose the disarm or clear mind or something?
Or do you just not worry about it and try to kill a minion?
Yes, it's going to be a move.
Yep.
Oh, you want to make friendship with Seteru. Clear
There's the
mind,
clear
there you
mind.
go.
It is not unreasonable that Akimo just dies. Or not Akimo, Setheru just dies.
Hmm.
So we see a rampant hatred giving him a skirmish with a value of 2.
Yeah.
I would imagine a targeting Setheru. So we're going to see a 2 and a flip. We got a +3, so
Oh,
there's 5,
5.
9, and now it is very realistic that Setheru just dies.
Yeah, you still have the
A
possibility
skirmish and
to
attack.
skirmish and attack. Yeah, attack, which would be you have a clear mind active, so this helps in the attack value as well.
So that'll be 5
Yeah.
and a double flip for the attack, and then
Mm-hmm.
a 2 with a flip for the skirmish. So as long as he gets a combined 2 on these flips, which seems very,
Mm-hmm.
very realistic. Well, there's a +3.
Oh,
So that
8.
brings Setheru down to 1 HP.
He is going to die. Declaring the skirmish, he is going to die.
That
You,
should be 1 HP.
oh, there goes glacial rebirth. Thanks
Yeah,
God.
that this actually might matter a lot if
Yeah. Wow.
+0. So it looks like Gameslayer forgot about the +1 attack damage from the clear mind.
Yeah.
because he should have done one more damage during the attack.
Yes.
It's actually two opportunities now where we've seen one off damage.
Yeah,
Two
against
instances.
Freiherr and against Zetero now.
Yeah. So now let's just see if Setharu can just destroy a chemo. Let's see what he has in hand.
Hmm.
With 8 cards, 7 cards, he's got to have something good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Soul Scream.
Yeah. You just place the illusion, get an extra damage.
Yeah. And sure enough, we do see Setharu activate, and he's going to be able to move into a position where Akimo has no mana, so won't be able to do anything to defend himself. So I would expect to see a move adjacent to Akimo right now
Hmm.
with his first activation.
Yeah, he's still thinking, so might be important to get the order of
Yep.
the actions
So
correctly.
there we
So
see the
the
move.
move, okay,
Yep, makes sense to move
okay,
there. Puts him in the safest spot away from Akla.
that's
Declares an
true.
attack.
And there's a sinkhole.
Yep, good play.
Yeah. Yeah. You
So
can. Yeah.
he,
Okay.
he can pull Akimo into the other cover hex to remove him from line of sight, or put him in the dome. Either one works.
Yes. So that was a bit of my question. Why put the terror there? But yeah. Okay.
So the attack fizzles.
What are we pointing at?
My guess is they're pointing at the center of the dome,
Yeah.
maybe Frejo, or the center of
The
the
center of the
sinkhole. The
yeah,
sinkhole.
the sinkhole. Yes.
So Setharu moves in, and let's see if he can play some power cards to do some damage.
Yeah, he still
There's a
has
Shatter Mine
4 mana.
for 3
Okay.
HP, down to 8. And there's the Soul Scream. Let's see what he
Oh,
flips. +1. So that'll be 5 more HP loss, bringing Akimo down to 3. So now, as long as Smeoz can just stall the game and win the outsider, there's really no chance he does not kill Akimo with the
yes.
outsider activation.
Wow. Wow. This is yeah. The direct damage really hurts. So
Yeah.
imagine if the attack or a skirmish afterwards would have been resolved um, for Sotero, then this just would have been the victory.
It would have been game over.
Yeah.
So I don't think Frehel's gonna be able to get in the position to
No.
do really anything effective, and there's no potential for a presence to be played. So really, actually, there's no potential for presence to be played by either player.
Okay. We did see a move and an attack by Akla.
So that's a dead Setharu.
Yeah. So the
So we get
next.
to see another card drawn by Gameslayer.
Yeah, and another funeral.
Yeah. So I mentioned there's no potential for a presence, which actually isn't true because Freyhel does run Mind Palace. She could clear her mana, um,
So
and then
yeah,
play presence from hand.
look, a Mind Palace would have been ridiculous with Teteru.
Yeah.
That would have been a ridiculous play. So I think he doesn't have it in hand. Smeoz doesn't have it in hand right now.
Well, unless he just didn't have any other spells to play
Yes,
with Setharu.
makes sense.
If he has it, I think it's more effective to save it for Freyhel. I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember if we've seen it, and since he has gone through his whole deck, there's the potential that he's drawn it again. So we see Freyhel activate.
Mm-hmm.
So both characters, or both players, just one kill away from game over. However, currently Smeoz in a much better position with the chemo at 3 health.
Yeah, that's for sure. But you need to somehow win the dome. And this now is the big question. You then need to have presence,
Yeah.
right?
Well, really, with a presence, the best he can do is tie.
Yeah.
Actually, never mind, because Ixatos really needs to defend the lane. You look at those minions, 2, 4, 6, 7, 7 to
Yeah.
2.
7 to 2. So you win by 5, but it's 2 damage on the minions and the rest goes
Yeah,
on the Nexus. So you won't lose the lane if you leave
right.
it. Um, yeah,
So it'll be
it depends on what Freiherr is going to do. I think Smears wants to win the outsider or at least tie.
yeah.
But then you might need a presence. And if you don't have it or if you don't want to use it, then you go into lane and try to put more damage against the tower, maybe.
that that top card in Gameslayer's discard pile is Ixatos' ultimate right now. So that is now out of hand, or
Oh,
really out
okay.
of the game. Not that he has the mana to play it this turn, but it would have been a good option to potentially help him save the Nexus.
Okay, attack on the minions. So that in the end,
Yep. Looks like
oh,
Smeoz is content to put as much pressure as possible
yeah.
on the
This
dome,
this now is oh yes, this now is a
and
difference.
leads from the deck, which did not
Hmm.
work out that great for him last time.
Oh yes,
With
we can
five
remember.
cards in with 5 cards in hand, it's kind of surprising to see that he doesn't have a 3 mana card unless he wants to really keep those cards.
Hmm. File's mana is down to 1. So
Correct.
there I don't see any reactions possibly for him to reposition something. But no, we've got an 8 against 2 plus whatever. So yeah, Ishatos needs to stay in lane.
Makes the most sense that Ixatos would kill a minion, lead, potentially plays another pillar just to get positioning or position himself in the best spot for the next turn.
Yeah, I mean, there is already a pillar placed adjacent to a chemo, so that he could reach out to a chemo if possible, if needed.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think Smears just gave up the dome because he might maybe not have the presence in hand or sees more value
Yeah.
in pressuring the lane. Okay, let's see what Ishatosk is going to do.
A lead from the deck.
A lead from the deck. And
Another risky play.
attack
Play.
against Freiherr and not against a minion. A +3 flip. Okay, that did
You
hurt.
know,
She's down to
you know
9.
what? This makes sense because if Gameslayer just concedes that the game is going to end on round 5 regardless, if he can just protect the Nexus, it makes sense just to put as much damage as possible into
Yeah,
Freyhel,
if you then
knowing
win the
knowing that you're going to
outsider,
win the outsider.
yeah, then you're going to kill us, Freiherr.
So so we got a 1 mana card
Ah,
and
it's
he's
a nourish. Okay,
and a
back
3 mana.
to
Does
the.
that end the game? I think that ends it. Yep.
Yeah, that's the
So
game.
the leads did not go in Gameslayer's favor. So
No.
we see a Wind Blast from Freyhel, and we see a Dreams of Talat from Ixatos. So the final count is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 to 3. So he wins by 8, which is easily enough to destroy the Nexus. So that
Wow.
is the game.
Absolutely. So then we are going to join the players in their room.
All right, great.
Okay.
Bajillion healing, though.
Hello, gentlemen. Good
Hello,
game.
hello.
Well played.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Smeoz.
Thank you, guys. Finally, I have won against Gameslayer. I have never win against him, so it's a news. It's a news for me.
You have redeemed yourself from the preliminary rounds.
Yeah.
Indeed.
The secret.
You have legitimately qualified.
There you go.
This wasn't a hand-me-down charity situation. You got it legitimately.
Yo, guys, what are your thoughts on the game?
I made 2 mistakes that really snowballed. The first mistake was at the start when I worshipped with the outsider. I didn't move the pillar. I should have moved the pillar because I expected the soul stream to come. I didn't consider until after he played it that it was going to hit the pillar as well, and hitting that pillar meant that I couldn't Ixtaxi, which meant I was losing control of the lane.
Yeah, you did use the Akla warship skill there.
It really didn't matter which of the 2 I used. They did the same thing.
Okay.
I literally just said to him, I'll worship and just deal 1+.
Mm-hmm.
And then made the decision not to reposition the pillar.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't think about it. I should have thought about it because I needed to reposition the pillar for the Ixtaxi. And then I tried to get greedy with the Doom play on the Frail.
Yeah.
If I'd have done it beforehand, then all those shelters would have had to have come down next turn. But then again, I was only delaying it a turn. He probably had me regardless at that point. The amount of hand he had there was insane.
Yeah, if you play Doom in response to the worship, you let me play Redirect with Astrida for change the target of Doom. But if I play Redirect, I can't play Song of the Siren, right?
That's very true. That's very true.
So you have to a free turn with Akimo.
I was curious, Smeoz, if you were just saving up all of those healing cards or you drew them all at the end of the round.
No, I have set up the shelter, and I have with presence Luke the Sacrifice to draw with the win of the control token, and with the 3 cards with the outside end of the turn, I have draw the second shelter.
Got it. I didn't know if you were slow playing by just keeping those cards in hand until you could just nuke him, or you were fortunate.
Well,
to
shelter
draw
does
into
more
them.
damage the longer you wait. So
correct, makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah, when it's funny because when I had 5 cards in the library. I have played Natur's Reclaim, and there are another Nourish and another Shelter in the deck. But there was the last cards of the deck, and I don't draw them. But
it was unfortunate that I missed the kill on the Sethru there. Because I had, I want to say it was 4 cards. No, it was like 6 cards left in the deck, and 3 of them were 3s. Like I was flipping +3s against the Sethru, and I was like, yeah, good. I have like I've got 8 cards left in the deck, and 5 of them are 3s, +3s. So
yeah.
I felt pretty confident about getting that kill then. And then he obviously played the Frail ult, and I whiffed the last bit there.
I was scared to have in hand the ultimate, but fortunately you have in the deck.
Yeah, the thing is, I looked it up. I looked at it and I was like, I could kill Frail here instead, but if I kill but Frail likely still has a Nourish in hand, so I'm not gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for the Sethru instead, and then the only thing he has to have that could save him would be the ult. And he had the
Yeah. Totally.
I wish I'd gone to my ults.
Better for me.
Sometimes it's nice to get those ultimates in hand.
Frail, of course, healed a lot this game, regardless of his low modifier. He kept hitting the +1, thankfully, for him. Yep. Was it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Just a question. When you start with Aklano to make a pillar, why position Nakla here and not here, for example?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a mistake to position him there instead, but I want to... So, what I'm... So, there. Well, maybe it wasn't. So, my problem, I found, is that if I position myself here, then things happen such that the outsider can't spawn on this side at all. And I felt like I was going to win the outsider, so I positioned him here so that I always had this spot open.
Okay.
That was my line
you-
of thinking. Maybe it was a mistake to go for that, but that was my line of thinking at the time.
Yeah. You take the risk that to make the Shillery attack at the first round.
Right,
Or-
but I was like, Shillery attack first round, but I've got a Sky to discharge, so there's a reasonable chance I kill him. I got him to 3 health and I flipped to 0 at one point, I think.
I don't
Or was it
remember.
2 health? I got him very, very low with the outsider, but just didn't quite finish it.
Anyway,
I felt it was a reasonable chance that I kill him
yeah.
if he enters the dome through a discharge.
Yeah. Totally. Good game.
And in total, I'm now here with 3 official World Qualifier winners together.
That's right.
Gameslayer,
we're-
Smeoz, and Bearcat.
That's right. We're just missing Tim and Doc Nika, and we got all 5 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
So Zaraghul, are you feeling a little inferior right now?
If I knew what that meant, maybe not.
Small, weak.
Yeah, of course.
um,
Sure, but I have at least the force to...
Emasculated.
Yeah, thanks, enough.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Gameslayer, for clarifying.
You're welcome. I am not saying that you're any of those. I'm just giving you synonyms for Bearcat.
Yeah,
Right.
thanks.
Bearcat's the one who called you inferior.
That is factually correct.
No, he
Mhm.
was just asking. He
Yeah.
didn't call me that. No, I don't feel so. And it was really a pleasure to cast with you, Bearcat. It was really fun
Well,
and
thank you.
interesting. And we had a really interesting game that we were able to stream to you guys. So, yeah.
you.
Yeah, very dynamic and a lot of action in every round. It was a fun one to watch.
Absolutely. It was a real
I'm
pleasure.
glad you enjoyed it.
Okay, so
Thank you, guys.
yeah, thanks for that game. Thanks for the people out there who were in the chat live and actively. And we hope you will join us again tomorrow evening. We won't be able to have a really Skyter Sunday match because of some interruptions, but we are going to provide you with some other interesting content. So this is going to be a
Ooh.
hilarious matchup. Smeoz is going to participate tomorrow, right?
Yes.
As well as C-Dubs. So you're going to see, let's say, a wacky format tomorrow evening. And I hope you'll join us on this side again. So have a nice evening. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, and please master us all.
Bye, guys.